Hey everybody. I'm here today just to talk about like a open source project that I just released a few weeks ago. It's a boilerplate for bad idea. Boilerplate for D3 and ES6, like the new JavaScript code. So like the boilerplate is like just plug and play. You just clone the repo and you can start like building the project. So here is the like a sample project. It just you click here and it generates random circle on a SVG. And the interesting part is you can like organize your code in different components, so that you can isolate like the logic and have like a more organized code and do more like oriented object programming than just like have one JavaScript file that does everything. And also like you can have like a config file, you can have like inheritance for classes. So here for example, like I have a circle, I can have like triangle, rectangle, and they're all inherited from a polygon. Can add like some behaviors for them. So this was just an example to show how we can build things with like D3 and ES6. And it's also provided with a, like a gulp, that is like a building tool to convert from like ES6 to the browser ES5. So for example, I can just change here green, and then when I save, it automatically reload the browser with the changes. And there's also like linting, for example, if there's any spelling, any mistake on the code, it can change it. So yeah, so the main motivation of like using ES6 is for a project that I'm working currently on in a non-profit based in Berkeley. It's a non-profit that participates in the internet infrastructure, and the idea is to be able to visualize all the internet outages that are happening currently in the world. So the idea is to be able like to have like a kind of a weather channel of like all the outages that are happening right now. And the challenge was to be able to have a separate code to draw the world map, separate code to draw the cloud, and other separate code to draw the label, depending on programmatically. So using ES6 was pretty straightforward to be able to isolate the logic and have like a more clean code to maintain. So yeah, we went through many challenges, like switching from Canvas, like from SVG to Canvas, to be able to have a smooth visualization with clouds. And like another like kind of side project of this main project, to be able to visualize the outages like during the time. So you can just like have this kind of player where you can see things changing in real time. You can filter, for example, say okay, just show the one that have been available like just recently. And you can select, for example, here, like have more information about this outage, where it's located, what is the average duration of the outage, who's the organization that is in charge of it. So yeah, so that's it. And we are hiring, we're looking for someone who will join like this adventure. So don't hesitate to ping me afterward. I'd be happy to chat if you have any question about the boilerplate or ES6. Thank you.
Okay, I work for a not-for-profit as well. It's called Tidepool. We're hiring for the front end. So we are building a data platform for the data that comes out of devices to manage type 1 diabetes. It's very niche. We do fall under FDA regulation, so that has some effect on the way we work. But louder? Okay, sorry. But I think we've done a pretty good job of designing our FDA quality system to be relatively developer friendly, so it's not as bad as it might sound. And we used really top-notch, like cutting-edge tools. We are just moving into ES6 with Redux. We've been using React for 2 years, and we use a lot of D3 on our data visualization, and we're probably just about to start a rewrite of our data visualization. So if you're interested, let me know.
Hi everyone, my name's Curran, and I've been playing with this interesting data set about migrant deaths in the Mediterranean. Let me pull it up here. there's a great public data source about these events in the Mediterranean where these refugees are fleeing places like Syria. And this is maintained by journalists, and it's in a Google Doc, and it's public data. And so each event is like you have latitude, longitude, date, and the number of people who died, and a couple other things. So I thought, wow, what an interesting data set. What does it really look like if you were to visualize it? And so here's one thing I came up with, one way I came up with to visualize it, which is remarkably similar to the thing that was just shown, dots on a map. So this goes back to, I think, 2003. And these are all the events. And the size, the area of each circle corresponds to the number of people who died in each event. And this is time on the bottom. It's just a rough prototype. But this is a timeline where each bar represents a week. And you can brush in the timeline down here. And then move the brush around to filter the dates that are shown on the map. And so you can observe some trends right away just by moving this back and forth. You can see around this time there's a big spike in this area. And also, if you zoom in the map, that filters the data that's used as input to the chart on the bottom. So it's like this two-way filtering happening. So it was really interesting to explore this. So if you zoom into here, you can see there's a big spike right here. And all of these events seem to be reported at one spot. And I thought that's kind of weird. What is that? And if you zoom in, you can see this is, what is it? I think Lampedusa. It's Lampedusa. So apparently that's, my guess is this is where the events are reported, but maybe they didn't actually take place here. I'm not sure. And then if you sort of fast forward in time, here's another spike of events, and now you see they're all spread out across this area in the ocean. And my hunch is that the reporting got better about the locations of these events. So that's one side project of mine I wanted to show.
Hello everyone, my name is Brian, and I'm working on something called Numeracy. And Numeracy is a data library that anyone can contribute to. And the basic idea is if we make it really easy to upload kind of like spreadsheets, Google Sheets, Excel, CSVs, it makes it really easy for people to find that data. And I know in my own experience that one of the biggest problems with actually like doing research or this kind of stuff is actually finding the data in the first place. So we're trying to make it really easy to publish data, and then we also want to make it really easy to consume the data. So a project we're working on is actually there's been a lot of news recently about people dying as a result of interactions with the police, and a lot of news organizations have actually been trying to crowdsource that data because the government doesn't actually collect it at a national level. So we're trying to find all the different data sets that are out there on the internet and then make it easy to search across all of them, because they all use slightly different methodologies, and if you're doing research on this topic, we want to make it really easy for people to find. And so we haven't really focused on the data visualization part yet, but we're starting to think about that, because obviously we want to make this data that's in the system really easy to visualize. And my D3 experience is limited to drawing line charts. So we're working on an API, and we're trying to find people who might be interested in beta testing the API. So if you're a D3 user and you kind of want to work with visualizing open data sets, just come find me afterwards. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Matthew. This is a recruiting pitch, unfortunately. So who here thinks climate change is a big problem? Show of hands, right? Almost everyone. Who has experienced some frustration figuring out what they can do about it in their personal capacity? Anybody had that feeling? That's great, because the company that I work for is called Genability, and that's exactly what we're working on. We're solving really hard problems with clean energy, and we're doing it with data, and a lot of that involves data visualization. Right now, I'm the only person there who works with D3, and we're looking to hire someone who's good at JavaScript. I think the job title is Senior Full Stack JavaScript Engineer. If that sounds like you, or could be you, or you could pretend to be that person long enough to get the job, please come and talk to me. I'll give you all the information you need, and thanks so much.